Welcome back to the Buds in the Box podcast. Before we get into the game, make sure you guys entered the giveaway. This is the last chance you will have. And if you want to re-enter the giveaway and already entered before, you guys can enter again. We'll give you another shot. Just make sure you comment which player jersey you want. If you want price, you get comment price. Make sure you like the video and make sure you're subscribed. Now, Felly, I didn't watch the first period because I was sleeping, and yeah, I just fell asleep. So why don't you take it away?
Yeah, that's very unlike you, Eric, to just fall asleep in the middle of the day. No, it's not unlike him at all. He sleeps like 24/7, except from like 1 a.m. to 3 a.m., 4 a.m.
That's true.
Anyways,
Same with you though.
yeah, same with me. But no, that's so literally 2 minutes into the game, at about the 2 minute mark, I would say, 2 minutes in, Andersen lets in a terrible goal. It was just a turnaround shot from Matthew Tkachuk coming up the boards. Horrible shot, horrible angle. I don't think it got deflected. Didn't look like it did, but it just went right over his shoulder. One shot, one goal. So personally, that's Andersen's complete fault. I hold my breath every single time there's a shot on net.
Yeah.
As a fan, you should not have to do that. You just shouldn't. You should be like you should feel good about the goalie that's in the net, at least a little bit. Like maybe think like, oh, he's made a couple good saves. Hopefully he doesn't let this one in. But no, it's like every single shot is like nerve wracking.
He doesn't
Anyway,
seem confident at all.
no,
Well,
well,
did he
here's
stick
the
up
thing. Here's the thing. Since you brought that up, what I was gonna say about Andersen eventually in this podcast was I guarantee you, if he goes to another team and gets a new coach and a new team around him with a new media, and it's not the Toronto media penalizing him for everything, he's going to be a really, really good goalie. He just can't play here anymore. It's not even his fault at this point. It's all the like the hate he's getting. It's the pressure he's under. It's like it's just a bunch of different factors that like his time here is done. Like there's he can't play in Toronto. He obviously can't handle it that well. So you need someone who can handle the pressure, and he just can't. So I want to see him gone after this year. Like not because he's a bad goalie or that I don't think he can be a good goalie, but um, just because he can't handle it anymore. I think he's done here. I think his time. He's paid his dues. He's not going to win a playoff series. It doesn't look like unless something changes this year. I think he's done. So
Yeah,
with the Leafs at least.
it seems to be a theme that runs through the Leafs organization. Like the biggest examples I have, I mean, you look at someone like Toskala, he let in that goal from half and he was ridiculed for that the rest of his career, basically ending his career. You look at guys like Bernier, James Reimer, they are all
They're
having
base
post Leafs, they're having a successful career. And
like
it's not that they're bad goalies, they just can't perform
yeah.
with the Leafs.
I mean, when you think about it, like a guy like Reimer who's basically like forced out of Toronto, like literally was forced out of Toronto, and now he's played 15 games. He's got 12 wins on Carolina. It's just like it's not even their fault. It's not that they're just like, oh, I'm playing for the Leafs. Like this is hard. Like it's just like everything surrounding the Leafs. It's hard as a goalie. It's hard as a player. Like it's nothing against them, but I just think they should. Like I don't know. Just like I guess there's nothing they can do, but it's like a mindset thing. You got to get someone who really doesn't care.
Yeah.
Someone who just like blocks everything out, literally doesn't care about what anyone says, doesn't care about anything, just wants to play hockey. And it seems like Andersen just lets everything get to his head.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
maybe
same
we
thing
could
with
use someone like Jordan Binnington who doesn't get nervous.
yeah, right. Bennington just signed a contract anyway.
Yeah, I'd be curious to hear Jude's thoughts on the goalie situation.
I mean, you guys covered most of it. There wasn't much to say, but the first goal did get tipped by Travis Dermott. Hit off his hip. I noticed that. So that's Dermott's fault. He's got to get in front of that puck because or else he's in front of Andersen's eyes. That being said, it was the most. If Andersen's positioning was correct, that would not have gone in. So that's where I agree with Felly 100%. Yeah, I took a tip, but it was like a 2-inch tip. Like it was literally that much. Like that's why Felly probably didn't notice it. It was literally nothing. And for some reason, Dermott shied away from Matthew Tkachuk's dump in shot. So that I don't know. Maybe our mock trades are looking pretty good right now. But aside from that, Yeah, we're just not a good city to play in. There's like most kids like me, I'd love to play. No one wants to play in Toronto. They're literally no one. Phil Kessel said it best. And before the game, Andersen came out with a like in an interview, he said his confidence isn't where it's at. He knows he's not playing well. So why do you start him?
Yeah, I mean, Jack Campbell's getting the start tomorrow. I think that's already confirmed. So I guess we'll see what happens there.
I mean, if Campbell pulls out a win tomorrow, somehow, because I have no confidence in the Leafs right at this moment. If he pulls out a win tomorrow, I think they just make him the starter until he loses.
Yeah, I mean, the
Make
Leafs
him the
didn't play
starter.
bad tonight. They didn't play bad. They had multiple defensive
Listen,
breakdowns that cost them the game. They were kind of just got unlucky
Defensive
again today.
breakdowns is a hot way to put it. That Tanev goal was unbelievable. They put the perspective of, or sorry, not Tanev. Was it Tanev?
Yeah, yeah.
That was Tanev.
That light screen that just went top left.
They put Andersen's view, like it was really cool. They put like
yeah.
He saw that puck all the way. Like that's just a missed puck that lost us the game. Like there's just nothing to that. That's
anyway. Yeah. Well, we'll get to that goal, but anyway, I don't know how much longer later. What am I saying? This is not English. I don't know how much later, but the second goal happened. Do you know what it was? And the second goal, so I don't know when it was exactly, but I think it might have been like 10 minutes maybe left in the period, around there. It was a turnover by Tavares. Dermott missed the puck, and I mean that's a hard shot to stop, I think, for any goalie, but that's fine. Like there are goals like that in games when there's a turnover, it happens, and the goalie really doesn't have a chance at it. That is fine. Like, the goalie can't stop that. That's not his fault. But when there's 2, 3, 4 goals that are basically the goalie's fault, you can't blame the goalie for goals. Like I've never liked doing that, and I don't like saying that goal was all Andersen's fault. But like it's just so hard not to. At this point, like that goal was not his fault at all. We're talking about the second goal, wasn't his fault, but it was just a nice play. But they go down 2-0 early in the game, so
yeah, and I believe then after that they cut the lead in half, right?
Yeah. Then I guess a couple minutes later, Spezza, it was kind of like a weird bounce off of Riley tried to put the puck on net, went off their defender. Spezza just one-timed it. So that was a nice goal. And then not long after that either, the terrible long goal. I mean, what was that one? It was like a shot from the blue line. That was the Tanev one.
That was Tanev's goal.
So that and then so we get to that. Tanev's goal, shot from the blue line. He saw it all the way. I mean, if that camera angle was like any little bit accurate, he didn't have a heavy screen in front of him. Like that's an NHL goal. You have to be able to fight through even the lightest screens. Like you have to be able to fight through that. Like, and also with like the tipping, like with tips, I think that was technically, it might have got tipped off of somewhat. No, that one went straight in, right?
Straight in, yeah.
No, so I mean, even though when we're talking about tips, it's like you're still in the NHL. Like tips are a part of the game. Like when you're a goalie, you gotta expect a tip almost. Like
Andersen has to adapt to those.
And that's exactly what you got. We were talking about this last time, right? That tip from Stastny and Wheeler in that game, right? And like we were all defending him in that moment, but at the same time, there's just simple little things that he has done previously, obviously not recently, that little adjustment would save that puck. Like he's 6'4". He's taking up a lot of net. And he's somehow getting lit up, right? Like he's making himself smaller somehow, whatever he's doing that. And that's most likely a confidence issue and mindset too, right?
Yeah, and listen, we love Andersen. Like we love the Leafs, we love Andersen. It's just so hard right now, losing 6 out of the last 7 games, and Andersen being a big part of the last couple of losses. Like we're not trying to rip on him or single him out, because a team's loss is a team's loss. It's not a goalie's loss. Even though that's what shows up in their statistics, that's not all on him. There were defensive breakdowns and whatever, but we love Freddie. Like we hope that he can win games and win playoff games, but I think, at least me, I'm not going to talk for you guys, but at least me, I think his time is just up. Like I think he's had enough of the media. He's got to go find a new team, and I'm sure he wants to. I don't even think he would sign a contract extension at this point. If I were him, I wouldn't, because new scenery is going to be perfect for him. Wherever it is, I think he's going to be really good on another team. Like I think he's going to be really good. It's just not here.
Yeah, I 100% agree. The only thing is though, like there is a lot of people, and I guarantee you it's gonna happen tonight and like tomorrow after this game, that are going to rip Freddie to shreds. Right? We love Freddie. We are the first people at Maple Leaf Square to be chanting his name, Freddie, Freddie.
We start the chants.
Yeah, we start the chants. So, but the interesting stat that I found, since I believe 2018 or 2017, the past 4 years, no goalie has more wins than Frederik Andersen, right? So, this you're everyone's saying like, Freddie's like okay goalie, doesn't have okay stats. Well, he's winning, right?
Mhm.
And if all he has to do, he doesn't have to have good stats to play on the Leafs. He just has to win. If the Leafs can find a way to go back to their winning ways, who knows,
But yeah, that's a very debatable statistic. Like that, like when I said I had that Twitter altercation. I'm not going to go in depth to it, but he said Freddie's record, right? He's highlighting that when you put the 30 million, $40 million men in front of him, they're gonna perform. They're gonna score goals. They like right now. Clearly, we're not watching that as much as we'd like to, but you can't say, oh yeah, like Freddie he's stolen some games for us this year. I can't say, yeah, that was all Freddie. No, there was maybe one game where he stopped 30 shots. He made 14 saves today. That's unbelievable. No loss.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, and that's fair. It's just at this point in his career, being on Toronto and playing for the Leafs, it's I mean, getting wins, yeah, because you've got guys that are literally the best players in the NHL. John Tavares, Mitch Marner, Auston Matthews. I could literally list the entire team. But at the end of the day, he has to have one. You have to have one big save to win a game.
Markstrom,
Exactly.
Markstrom.
At the end of the game, you have to look back at it and say, "Wow, our team won because that one big save saved it." I can't say that about Andersen this game. I can't say it about him last game. The last 5 games that the Leafs have lost, it's, I think in order to win a game in general at any level in any league, no matter what, the goalie has to make one incredible save. Not even incredible, just like good, like a really good save. And that's how you win a game. But that's not happening.
Yeah, and we'll move on from this topic because we can probably go on all day with this, but just one final thing to say, just to like kind of summarize, basically, I kind of back on my point, but if Freddie can find a way to win, and if he wins, like I was just trying to say that the Toronto media can't really be mad with him, right? And people will kind of shut up and lay off of him if he starts to win again. Clearly, he's not. The Leafs are in a bad slump right now, and I guess we'll see tomorrow, but a lot rides on tomorrow. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I mean, I have a strong feeling that there's going to be either a trade made. They panned on Zubit. They panned on Dubas like 3 or 4 times that game, and he was so frustrated.
Yeah.
He threw his pen. He was like turning around, like he was mad. I have a strong feeling that after the game tomorrow, depending on the outcome, there's going to be a trade very, very soon. If not tomorrow morning, there's going to be a trade not far after the game, depending on the outcome. I'm not even saying that like there might be a trade soon, like at some point. Like I'm literally, I have a very, very strong feeling that there will be a trade if they don't get a win tomorrow. If they don't have a good game, Dubas is gonna say, you know what, you guys aren't performing. Let's switch it up now. I'm gonna start replacing you with guys who want to win, because the team doesn't look like they want to win. I mean, I did also quickly, just a little off topic. Galchenyuk looked amazing.
He did, yeah.
Like his stats did not reflect it. -2, but he was in corners. He was in battles. He was getting pucks out.
He is fast.
It was just,
he can be a replacement for the void of Kerfoot if there's a trade there, because they play similar styles. It looks like fast on the puck, in corners, making plays. And he can score goals, as we know from his days in Montreal.
Yeah.
But I think that Galchenyuk.
3, go. Oops.
The trade from Galchenyuk for Galchenyuk looks like a good move now, because you can look at it. It's kind of like a replacement for Kerfoot almost. If a guy like Kerfoot is to move, if they are to move him, then you can kind of see that he can be placed in that top 6, and even if it's not in the top 6, whatever. But I kind of think that Kerfoot's going to get moved soon, if you ask me. But
yeah. Anyway, we'll move on. Otherwise, we're going to be stuck on the first period the whole time. So I actually, there was a goal. Kerfoot scored.
There was another goal. Kerfoot did score. Yeah, he came down the left wing not long after the third goal, like literally same minute. And he just took a weird shot. It did take a little deflection off the defenseman's stick, I think, and it went short side.
Yeah.
Bad goal by Markstrom, actually. He shouldn't have let that in, but it's
he made up for it, I think.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of like a makeup goal. So
yeah, it did give the Leafs a little bit of spark, because I started recording the second period, and the Leafs just seemed on it. They had a fire under their ass, whatever you want to say, because 4 minutes in, Mitch Marner snipes a goal, and good forechecking by the Leafs. I believe it was unassisted, but I think Thornton and Matthews should have got that assist. But
yeah, they were in the battle.
Yeah, I mean, Thornton stopped the puck from going up the wall. Good play. Basically all he did all game.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I mean, I wrote something down. They were playing Thornton, Spezza, and Simmons at one point, which I absolutely loved. I love that, because that could be a perfect fourth line. And keep Hyman with Matthews and Marner.
Yeah, Simmons was just feeling out this game, I think.
He was playing well.
Obviously, it was his first game in like 6 weeks. He was playing really well, but think about that coming back from your first game after 6 weeks off. It's hard to do. So they started him on the fourth line. Obviously, that's not because he's a fourth line player, but I can easily see him on the third line, even second soon.
Yeah.
They have to change something up.
Yeah.
Because sticking Thornton on the first line is not doing anyone any good right now. Even splitting up Tavares and Nylander, even just, I know the top 2 lines are pretty set in stone, but maybe put Tavares with Marner and Matthews with Nylander for a game. See how it works, because right now it's not working. And it just seems like Keefe, and I don't know who else is making the calls, but they're very stuck in their ways right now. It
Yeah.
was working for the first 25 games or 23 games or whatever, and that's great. But sometimes you have to switch it up if it's not working. It's not always going to go back exactly to the way it was. Like, yeah, it was amazing for while it lasted, and hopefully it can go back to that soon, but change it up for one game even.
Yeah.
Well, when you
Put Matthews with Nylander.
yeah, well, when you think of when Matthews was out and Tavares and Marner played, they both recorded a 2-point night. Like it's not bad at all, right? So
Yeah.
Exactly.
So just shaking up the lines tomorrow might be good for the team.
Yeah. The thing I noticed though, the first about 25 games, it looked like 25 games looked like the Leafs had 2 first lines and 2 third lines, right? That's how they were playing. Now I think it kind of they're both on their B game. It looks like they have 2 second lines and 2 fourth lines.
mhm.
Just
exactly.
a food for thought. But moving on, I actually think the Leafs played well these last 2 periods. I know I didn't really get to see how they played the first period, but they looked like a good team in these second. They outplayed the Flames 100%. Maybe not
Yeah.
goaltending wise, but
The St.
offensively,
Pat's jerseys are cursed, by the way.
yes, for sure. So in the second period, Hall actually destroyed Johnny
Oh my
Gaudreau.
god. Yeah.
And I don't remember the guy's name. Doesn't come to my mind right now that tried to fight Hall. Do you guys remember? It was like
It was like Valimaki.
Valimaki, right? Valimaki
Yeah.
ended up getting a penalty on Hall for attacking him. I guess it was a clean hit, really good hit on Gaudreau.
Yeah.
Just one of those awkward hits where he's not against the boards, so he just kind of fell back into them, those are scary hits.
That was a clean hit. It just looks like really, especially looked bad. Not that it was dirty or anything, not that it was bad in the way that it was dirty, but because Gaudreau's such a small guy. He's like 5'7", and he doesn't weigh too much. So when he gets hit like that, it looks huge,
and
right? It looks bigger, and he stayed down, so it was kind of wasn't dirty at all. Though it's just it looked like Chell on it. It looked like playing NHL 21. That's what it looked like.
Jude, did you want to say something about that hit?
Yeah. Gaudreau's 5'9" and Hall is 6'4", so like that's quite the mismatch.
Yeah.
That's like me hitting Philly.
Try the other way around. For anyone watching the podcast that doesn't know Eric's height, it's actually 5'4".
That's
he's
actually
incorrect. 7'11".
Yeah, I'm actually 6 feet. So anyway,
yeah, I know. He has to go to the March Madness tournament tomorrow morning.
The Leafs can't.
I was so delayed.
The Leafs can't convert on that power play.
Delayed.
Okay, chill.
Yo.
Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, you're gonna have to cut this out.
Anyways, Leafs can't convert on that power play, and then probably one of the weirdest fights I've ever seen. It will definitely be on Weird NHL. Matthew Tkachuk comes up to Justin Hall and is like, "Hey man, like, do you want to go?" Obviously, Hall, he's not a bitch. He's gonna answer the bell, and he drops his gloves. They're kind of squaring off, and Matthew Tkachuk, just does like a big lap around the ice. He just decides to, test the ice out, see how it feels.
The All-Star game right now.
Yeah.
The speed skater.
He started figure skating, and Hall was like, "Well, what are you doing, man? Like, are we gonna fight or what?" He picks up his gloves, assumes the fight's over, and Tkachuk just starts racing after him. So he drops his glove. He's all startled, and he has to like trying to defend himself. Like, I've never seen anything like it. Just a weird fight. But
it was actually just like a dirty thing of Tkachuk to do because he caught him off guard. He asked him for a fight. Hall drops his glove. He skates away. Hall's like, okay, I guess there's no fight. Bends down to pick up his gloves. Next thing you know, Tkachuk's in his face, punching him. And then at the end of the fight, Tkachuk pulls his hair to bring him down also, which is just a sort of like a little ratty thing to do by Tkachuk. I hate him. I actually hate him.
That's like
there's a difference between like being like a menace on the ice and just being absolutely like out of it. Like he wasn't like he's the type of guy that like he's a good hockey player, but he gets way too caught up in the extracurricular stuff that goes on in the game. Like he's just such a little shit. He's
Yeah,
so annoying.
I do agree he's a menace to society. So
Why'd you say that like a supervillain?
a menace to society. Moving on from that though, I guess Kachuk's fight sparked something. I don't know, beating up on a non-suspecting Justin Hull, I guess, sparked something, and the Flames get a power play from, I believe, Mikheyev's holding, which, I mean, you can't really blame him for that. He was just going hard after the puck, and it kind of tips off Muzzin's like butt. Like Muzzin's pretty thick, so it kind of like grazed his bum hairs, and just tipped enough
Too much
just so that just to go right over Andersen's shoulder. I mean, Jude, you said he's a big guy, and he just went down too early, and I mean he should have had that. That's the first thing I wrote. He should have had that. But the Leafs having way too many defensive breakdowns, that should never happen. Morgan Riley turned the puck over about like 5 times. I was shitting my pants. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, I don't know. That's one of the first games where he's been like you haven't really noticed Riley aside from when he fanned on the puck in the final minute. I don't know. That was just not his game for some reason.
Yeah, I kind of feel like every defenseman on the Leafs right now is just rotating and taking turns looking like Jake Gardiner in Game 7. Like, that's how it feels.
The entire decor is like not playing up to their full potential at all. I mean, at this point, I want to see a top 6 forward come into the mix, but a trade for a defenseman too wouldn't be bad.
Yeah, it wouldn't be bad at all.
The only one who's kind of kept pace is Bogosian right now. Like he's just kind of been like that. Like he was never up here like Brody and all them. He was just always here. He just stayed here. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah, Brody too. Like I love Brody. I give him praise every day, every game, but he was kind of invisible.
It's like their confidence is low too. Like the whole game has gone down with Freddie.
Yeah. And just for time's sake, we'll get into the third period here. The Leafs, I wrote down again, they had a very, very good start to they were actually on the penalty kill and they killed it off perfectly. I mean, I'd be curious to see the stats on penalty kills or power plays that go from one period to the next. And like the whole debate of should that team start in the offensive zone if it goes from one period to the next, but we'll not get into that for time's sake. But the Leafs, they did a very good job, and it looked like, you know, they had a chance. Like they gave you hope.
You were dominating that period.
For sure.
Well, if I'm not wrong, I think the Flames had one shot in the third, which is I don't even know what to say.
And I mean, the Leafs were getting their chances. Don't get me wrong. Matthews was being teed up about like 4 times on the power play.
I mean, he hit the post.
Yeah, he hit the post.
Head on.
Then
that's a goal he usually scores.
100%.
That crazy save by Markstrom.
Yeah, that was.
Where'd that even come from?
Yeah.
Saves the game for them. It's simple as that.
They tried something new.
It goes to overtime, and the Leafs probably win it in overtime because they're a much more skilled team.
Yeah. And they were trying different things on the power play, which I like. They had Tavares, Nylander, Matthews, Marner, and Riley. And they had Marner down low instead of on the half wall. They had Nylander on his offside, and then Matthews just teeing up for 1-2s. They also had Tavares in the slot, Riley at the point, and they kind of just went Nylander to Marner, maybe to Tavares every once in a while, and that's where they got the chance for Matthews. It was Nylander to Marner to Tavares. Tavares is like, I see Matthews. I have 3 guys on me. Passes it out. Matthews takes a 1-2. Just absolutely robbed by Markstrom. Unbelievable save. Desperation. 2 guys were in front of that. The goalie got it. And that's the difference. Andersen got outplayed that game. And that is the difference between a goalie who can win games and a goalie who can't. Right now, Andersen can't win a game.
Just happens against Calgary for some reason. He, like the same thing with Riddick we were going on about, right? A couple of weeks ago. So that's, I don't know. It's just the broken telephone or, scratched record, whatever. Saying the wrong game. It's just the same thing over and over again. It's just Freddie's being outplayed right now. And as skilled and as strong as we are, we're not coming out on top, and that sucks to see right now, right?
Yeah, and I definitely feel like we outplayed the Calgary Flames. We should have won that game.
No doubt.
Just mistakes led to goals, and Leafs lose another 2 points. So,
I mean, we're always going to look at the bright side at the end of it. You know, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. So today's bright side for the end of this video is at least we're not Buffalo. And that's that. If you're a Leafs fan and I'm hurting too, you just got to look at it and go, wow, at least we're not the Sabres.
Yep, 100% agree. But also, another bright side, we're squaring off against Calgary tomorrow, and Campbell's in net. Simmons is going to be better than today, sorry. And we're going to regroup. We're going to find a way. We'll see what happens.
Galchenyuk's going to score.
Okay.
Hot take.
Hot take.
Hopefully.
But I guess if you guys don't have any closing remarks. No? Okay, we'll end it here. Thank you guys for watching on YouTube. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment if you're from YouTube. If you're listening on any other podcasting platforms such as Spotify or Apple Music, we appreciate you. Thank you for listening. This has been the Buds in the Box podcast, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. So thanks for listening. Bye for now.